Good afternoon, Hiro Nakayama, Scent Communicator. It is such a pleasure to have you here on the Expeditionary Mindset. Thank you for making time to join me today. I've been really following with interest your journey through the world of scent communication and just learned about your new Kickstarter project, which is related to the world of Japanese incense. And can you tell us about the role of Japanese incense in Japanese culture and why you've decided to make it your mission to bring these scents, and there are 6 of them if I'm right, to the world? Thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much, Roshni, for having me on the channel platform. I really appreciate it. So yes, I am a scent communicator, bringing some of like old the incense into this modern world. So the incense is based on the 1,000-year-old the incense brand, which is a Heian era, if you're familiar with Japanese history. But we're carrying on to the 11th century kind of like a message that we have through the incense. I love the word of fragrance, word of scent. And going back to why I'm doing this is really like I have experienced weakening my sense of smell during the stressful moment. And I went through the divorce and a new city. I moved to New York around that time. And then, 2 years, I didn't notice that actually my sense of smell was weakened. And then one day I went to the courthouse to put my divorce paper, and then came out that there's a farmer's market in the Brooklyn, New York. I go there a lot, and I didn't notice that why I can smell the strongly of the vegetable, not just the flower and the plant. It's a vegetable. It was speaking to me. It's like, okay, what's going on? And I did some quick research on Google, and then I found out it's a relationship between human, stress, a human body, a condition, an emotional condition, and then olfactory sense of smell. So I thought like that was fabulous. Let me just share with everyone. That's my first mission. And then I wanted to get into the industry. So I didn't know where I wanted to go in the beginning, but I know the perfume and I like the perfume ever since I was teenager. So I just knocking the door to all the brands, and then some of the brands reach out to me to help them out to international distribution in Asia. So I thought like maybe I should just do something on my own first. The scent communicator, the title didn't come till really recently, like the last 3-4 years. But I always love to share and the writing about the scent, perfume, aromatherapy, scent marketing, anything related to smelly thing, actually. The scent itself is a medium. It's giving information. And then once we get the information going through our sense of smell, that's how we, acknowledge what it is. So what I do as a scent communicator, going back to your first question, is basically delivering what it is about the word of the scent in digestible, word. And then one more thing though, color, we have a 3, the fundamental color to describe. Scent, we can't do that. It's all about your experience, your memory, how you feel that day, really. But sometimes somebody has to mention this scent is described as this, and they can learn about it. Along the way, they can accumulate more language on their own. Then they might have a different opinion about the particular same scent that how I feel. But that's okay. It's really personal. So that's the word of sense that I envision. So there's no right or wrong. You just on it, and then you experience the scent, and then whatever it works for you, your benefit. So that's the word that I think that the scent can do. So that's the role that I see as a scent communicator. So that's, yep.
Very cool. I think probably for most of the world, when many of us hear the word scent or fragrance, the first thing that comes to mind is perfume. But right now you're working on a project with Japanese incense. What was your journey into the world of Japanese incense?
Sure. So the incense right now is just going back to a few years ago, a little bit more, actually 6 years, I believe. Like my mother passed away, and while I was in Singapore, and then in Japanese, majority of household not really practice, but when somebody passed away, we do practice Buddhism, rituals, and then we do offer the incense to the dead and the god. So that's a part of the reason I started practicing, like using the incense. And then because I already in the fragrance world working as a professional, so I know like every time the monk comes to my dad's place and he used a different incense offering, I was curious, so I got to talk to him, and then he has his own my incense every time, and he even asked request the supplier to create his own, and then it's based on the season, based on his emotion. So like we got to talk and we really enjoy, and I thought like I should be able to make something on my own. So I look for the workshop in Japan, and then I found it. So I flew from Singapore to Tokyo and took like 6 hours long, all the incense, basics one day. And but it was so much fun creating something. And then because I do already have some knowledge on the fragrance, so it was easier for me to understand, but also the same time that I discovered some of the differences between perfume, the liquid format, and the incense powder format. And then I believe like it might be different, impact on our emotion. That's what I thought. I know that incense is not just in Japan, everywhere actually. If you go back to any cultures, religion, and they use incense. But for some reason, we didn't really recognize like differences and then similarity among the cultures. But because I'm originally from Japan, so basically I wanted to, learn about more of Japanese incense. Like, hey, I have to share with other people. That's my mission. So I started in the workshop, Creative Japanese Incense Workshop in 2015 in Singapore. And then after, every time I go back to US and, I do have an opportunity to showcase with others. And obviously after I moved to Japan 3.5 years ago, continuously sharing this experience, and a lot of people find it interest. So that's what it is. There's a few reasons why I'm doing this Kickstarter project. The Kickstarter project is the way it's nice to introduce, the folks might not know about the incense, might not be interested in incense or even fragrance, to join me to, take this project to life. In the workshop, we already using a six scents that I'm, currently launched. So basically like it's the same thing, but the hearing, picking up their opinion, that's one of the reasons that I wanted to do this, the launch of the sixth incense from the Heian era. The other thing is, among even Japanese, they don't know about the the, the major, the sixth incense, the significance of it. It actually, four of them are mentioned in the Tales of Genji. And we kind of know about the Tales of Genji. We don't know much deeper, but like actually it shows, it appears in there to offer more descriptive image by reading a text. So the scent is quite impactful in, like even books, text even describe it. So, you can easily picture like scenes of the Genji, meeting, his mother, stepmother kind of stuff. But so like, it's really like a fantastic feeling when you picture easily on the scene from the text. And even like I find the romanticizing, like, back in the time, people are very, very detailed, how do you call, like a culture, I would say, that not just the scent, but the all of the other, like the cultures developed during that time in Japan. And the scent is quite interesting. Like, when you are meeting with, your potential husband, you don't get to see the face, but you exchange the poet. So you see the handwriting, and then basically, with how do you call, like a blind kind of like in between, like the men and the women. And then like you just feel that person through the scent. So if the person passed by, you recognize the person is nearby because of the scent. And then that time they use the incense, obviously not the perfume. So, that was like a really romantic feel of it. So that's another thing, but so many information attached to this incense. The reason that I wanted to point it out, the reason I'm taking this one to the global, not just the Japan, is that incense itself is recognizing nowadays because of COVID-19 and people are stay home. And people wanted to stay home comfortably. And obviously we do have a scenting candle and diffuser, and some people use with perfume, obviously. We are surrounded by a lot of scent everyday basis, but people are looking for something new. And the incense been there, but people are not recognized in the past so much. And now that a lot of press is discovering and picking up the story, and I think it's a great movement around the incense. That kind of a story that I wanted to share globally. And then also, like, one of the stuff that I have is really Japanese incense, and probably, brand recorded oldest in history. So, why not we preserve that story? The most important thing is that you discover your own most comfortable scent. Sometimes like an influencer tells you this is good, and yeah, might be good, but actually it might not be good to you, right? So you never know. So so potential means like, we have tons of variety available around you, and try and error and just find out what you like, what makes you most, comfortable. And then again, our life change all the time. Even I like it the sense today, tomorrow it might change because my mood change, what I consume as a food, change. So like you have to pick up your, change by smelling something. If you like one scent for a long time, suddenly you don't like the scent. It might be some kind of cue, your condition not positive, or you just moving on to the next stage. So that's what I say, potential of the scent.
Fascinating. So I know your Kickstarter project is called Bridge and Blend. It made me wonder whether the bridge in Bridge and Blend, does that have anything to do with Awajishima and the bridge that goes to it, or
Okay.
is completely unrelated?
No, actually, it's not necessarily the Awajishima, the bridge. The bridge and brand coming from really the concept. So basically, I've been, I'm born and raised in Japan, but spend a lot of time outside of Japan, in US, France, and Singapore. And then my parents are stationed in Central and South America. So like I visit them. So like, I have opportunity to encounter many different cultures. My hope is just the branding, mix and match kind of stuff, but connecting the different, not necessarily culture per se, but any entity. And then if we are branding together on something, and it's gonna create some kind of innovation, even today, like I'm talking to you, Roshni, and then we are creating something here, so that's really the concept. And then because I like the perfume, fragrance and scent, incense, look at it, all of the creation that we do for in this, world of scent or world of fragrance, we always branding something. So that's really coming from Bridge and Brand.
Cool, very cool. Is there anything that you can share with us about the Bridge and Blend project or other scent communication projects that you're working on right now? And how can others get in touch with you and your work to learn more?
Sure. So currently, I'm really devoted to this Kickstarter campaign until mid-May. At the same time, I'm writing an article to some media in Japan. And then I occasionally write the article to global media as well. And then, so that's as a communicator, I just wanted to share whatever that I learned, discover something new is coming. But it's not necessarily incense is to limit it to incense that I'm doing. Thinking about expanding this sixth sense into different format That way they can experience different, like scent even with the same concept. So that would be interesting to do. And all of my team member behind me actually have so many ideas that they wanted to do under the Bridge and Brand. We launch bridgeandbrand.com, one word, bridgeandbrand.com. It's the online store. So we will launch all the product and project on there as well. And then company itself is a Project Felicia. So projectfelicia.com is available online, and then they can just take a look what we offer. Basically like a marketing and consulting and events, the product development. So, if anybody wants to create their own, product, or if anybody want me to, talk to their group of, people about the scent, and I'd be happy to do so. So yeah, so that's two website. And then of course we do have a social media on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. So if you can just Google even me, Hiro Nakayama, it comes up a lot. And then like a Bridge and Brand is coming up as well.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Hiro, for taking time today to share your work, share the world of scent communication, fragrance communication with us. I think for a lot of us, it's really new. And even those of us like me who light incense every day have probably not put a ton of time into really thinking about the role that it plays in our lives, our routines, and our well-being. So really appreciate your sharing your perspectives and experience with us. And I wish you all the best with the Kickstarter and everything else that you're doing. So
thank you.